Now we're going to look at a project that was really pretty cool, and it includes burying all the deck demo inside the whole rock feature. It was kind of like a waterfall, a little bit overhang, grotto space, but a cool slide, and a pretty amazing project. So this is so cool going back in time, checking these things out, man. So let's take a look as we shrink my head down and put me to the side over here, and you can see we have the rebar all having been epoxied into the deck area, going all around the area that the project is going to be located at. And these are 20 footers, you can see, because there's a little bit of a bend on the top there. And I'll buy those at Home Depot, 20 footers, 3/8. And then I bend them in half because I can fit them in my van or on my trailer if I'm going to be going that way. Sometimes I just buy the 10 footers. Yeah, you pay a little bit more money, but it's just, to me, it's convenience. And my approach, which is maybe not the smartest, I have my mud water kind of afternoon thing here, so I'm going to be just keeping myself warm. It's kind of cold here in the wintertime here now in San Diego with a crazy storm coming, apparently. So anyway, back to the job here. I get 20 footers, bend them in half, and then I will put those into the my van or on my trailer now with my happy cup. So you can kind of see we got the stereotypical blue tile, 2-inch blue tile that was very popular back in the earlier days, 70s, 80s. Bullnose stone brick around the perimeter on this sucker. It's all plaster. They're going to demo all the plaster because once plaster dries out, it's no good. So we're looking at the upright steel prep work for this project, and what's cool is you don't have to know exactly what you're going to do. Just kind of have a sense of what the footprint's going to be like, and then you can work up there and adjust and adapt. I did draw a picture, and we're going to be looking at that in just a sec. So we will click to the next picture. You can kind of see the deck is all here, all behind on the ground. You can see how I painted out where it's going to go. And I just put a little dot on the ground with my marking paint, drill it out, and we use the deck sort of as a footing platform. The deck could be 3 inches, 4 inches thick, and you can see that it goes out past the concrete, and then that's going to be dug footings in the back there to help support this whole structure. Goes all the way back out to there. A little bit of the preliminary steel's going up there. Again, those bends are in there from the 20 footers that I bend in half and put on a trailer and carry them with me to the job site. And you can see that I'm busting out some of the coping stones around there. Good old bullnose, good solid strategy for building pools back in the day. Very, very common as well with that good old 2-inch blue tile. You can see down here you have the piece of rebar that's sort of holding around the base there, and this is probably 10 years ago in my career. It's very big, very early on during my journey of fake rock construction. We have the skimmer right here in the back, and you want to keep that not covered up, obviously, so the rockwork's coming just to the edge, and then they'll be able to finish this whole thing out in whatever fashion they're gonna. I can't remember. We'll discover that together as we move through this. So now we're jumping ahead. There's Daniel, and we have begun making the shape. There's a slide included this project, and you've got the boulders on the sides. All this deck work, you can see the dirt out here. All the deck out there has been jackhammered and busted up into chunks, and we're now just saving the contractor who's doing that work the need to haul all that away, and there's no point in doing it. We just put it right inside the whole structure, and bye-bye, baby. So there's a little bit of a space we've created overhanging. We've got a little diamond lath underneath here, you can see, which is kind of cool. I can zoom in on these good pictures. They got good definition. So that's all underneath there, and this will be hand applied to give us our thickness that we need on that. And you do want that coverage. You want to get the steel covered. There's so many jobs that I've been repairing over the years, and they've had diamond lath snug up against the steel without any coverage or adequate coverage on the other side. This was the early part of my career. Nowadays, I just put pegboard, as some of you have seen on my other videos, and then I just encase this. It's super easy. Pegboard goes fast. You can cut it with a cordless saw and or break it and snap it as you prepare the pieces to fit the parts of that puzzle that you want to do. So burlapping again on the inside of structures. Back in the day, I would buy the 90 pounders of concrete. I do not do that anymore. They are too heavy. But I did that for a long time because I guess I was had the vigor and vim of a young man, and I just felt like going for it. And I'd save, I don't know how much you save on a 90-pound bag compared to a 60. But now I don't care. I want to save my back for future use. So saw cut all the way around on the deck before they jackhammered it off, and we're using this sort of as a footing. There's the back of it now. Look at that, all that deck stuff. I'll zoom in a little bit here and get a closer look. These are just puzzle pieces, and you kind of stack them in a way that gives you some obvious places for some stairs to go on up onto the top of that thing. And so, yeah, we've got this whole project. It's going to be on the ground here, steel from the decks mixed in with this, shotcreting going everywhere, and filling up rocks and boulders with rubble. I've done that many times in the past, and so it's a nice way to take care of some of the mess. There you can see more of the deck has been fully removed. So we can zoom in a little bit, and we're just seeing the shapes a little bit laid out there. We're going to be pre-pouring, as we will see shortly. Okay, here is the drawing that I made, and there was a plan we'll see in a sec that sort of gave me some reference, a plan view from the pool builder. And this is the sketch I did. And again, I've got that new course out on how to draw faux rock projects for beginners. Plus, it tells you how to do this if you want to learn how to do that. But again, this is very simple, rudimentary approach to representing what you want to build for your customer. Getting a little bit of a sense of how to draw perspective views is very important, and you just want enough to get them the idea of what you're making. You don't need to detail out everything everywhere. Satellite stone here, satellite stone here. There'll be steps maybe going up in the back, and this is just an initial layout of the job that we're doing here. So we'll bump forward, and they were talking about putting a grove of fruit trees. Again, these are very rudimentary little fuzz balls of green. Yeah, they're pretty cute, those little fuzz balls. But again, this is the kind of drawings that was able to get me the work that I did for over the years. And I used this plan, which was their drawing from the pool builder, I think, unless they had an architect who was doing something beyond just the pool, because they've got the landscaping all figured out here. I guess, yeah, there's an orchard, so that was where I made those little green fuzz balls. The pool you can kind of see here, the slide, and that's just the original rough approximate doodle by the client. I don't know if I added those on there or not, but I think I might have, because I'm pricing those out. You can see back in the day, the price for a small rock, which is 2x2x3 or 2x2x2, would be like $300. Mediums, 1 to 4, those are all just satellites. You want to get rockwork scattered around the yard. It looks better that way. It looks like the whole design was originally built to accommodate that sort of thing. So that's a good way to look at it. Okay, now we have got things almost ready for shotcrete. You can see pre-poured concrete on the weir. That's the edge that falls into a pool or off a waterfall. That's called the weir. I learned that when I started doing this stuff. Pre-pour a lot of times on the top of the rocks, and if there's stairs, I like to do that so that when you're walking around and we're doing the big shotcrete crazy day, we've got a solid foundation, because sometimes the weight of the concrete can push through the burlap and break it. All this area has been pre-poured. That also stabilizes the whole structure. You've got the feed pipe right up here in the corner, and that's going to be providing water for the slide. And yeah, I guess that's how I did it this time. It looks like probably a 90-degree elbow going down that would fill up a little trough and then dump down into the slide. Those are the supply pipes, 2-inch feed line PVC pipes, Schedule 40. They're stronger and better, so you want to use good solid pipes. No point in getting the thin stuff. That's just not a wise move. Now I'll move my little fuzzy head over here. So mixing, I got a little mixer here. The one I got, they're not like 460 or 450, but These little mixers, I think it was called Imer, I-M-E-R mixers. Now they were bought out or someone else is building them, making those. They're the same exact construction, same motors. It looks the same, but got a new one recently and it was over $400, I'm pretty sure, $396. Might even, I have seen $400 or whatever. So we've got our prep work here prior to shotcrete. We'll take a few more close looks at this. This rock's all the way filled with rubble, so I don't even have to worry about burlap or chicken wire really on the steeper portions. These areas here have the good old burlap doing their thing. Pre-pour areas on top here, we can see that. Let us move around with some more pictures here. And we've got our spectacular scaffold system doing its thing. Filled this all up with rubble. Don't have to do burlap. I'm kind of not sure if it's more fast or efficient to do that. I like helping other contractors out, and if they don't have to haul stuff away, it's a lot of physical labor to fill up a rock like that. We would do it before we, tied it in and closed out those spaces with rebar. So that's what we do. Pre-pouring again, this is recent, that's why it's darker. This is the day before, this is all secured and dried. But that, and I also like putting concrete pre-poured on the edges of these water features that have like a starting pond right up here. And you can kind of see that. That is all just hand pushed into the rebar crossed with double layers of chicken wire, or I made an actual thick wall that's maybe this thick and I fill it up and vibrate it and really get that steel encased properly. Very good idea. All this is going to be shotcreted, but all this stabilizes the entire structure. That's the starting pond right there, it looks like. And so really good idea to pre-pour areas and just stabilize your whole structure. It is more work. At the beginning of my career, I did actually not do all that, and I just tried to do all the shotcrete carving and structural work in one day. Man, what a burnout. Oh my gosh. And there were times where the burlap would just break through. There's no place to walk when the guys are hanging out with the shotcrete pump, and that big beast is blowing and it's heavy, and they just want to get it out of the truck. So you want to try to make it so they have a place to stand that's strong. So now we're going to click through. We see the prep station area. We've got these guys here. It looks like, and they've jackhammered all the pool plaster off in the back here. And that's the other contractor's thing if they were doing the demo. So I'd probably turn that into a boulder right there. Sometimes you can just take rubble and just shotcrete over it, and if it's not needing to be attached and it has expansion joints or expansion capabilities from the hot, cold, freeze thaw expansion contraction process, then you can just pile up rubble. You can make rocks with just a pile of cement. And if you want to make a bigger rock, you can just pile up rubble like we see here in this picture right here, or you can make a pile of dirt, and that does it just as good. So that's probably going to be a satellite rock. This one's leaning out over the pool, so we need to get that rebar in there. Nowadays, I'd probably put pegboard around there. And I made a bench, which I was not seeing in the earlier pictures. So we can epoxy steel into the pool wall here, and I'd put pegboard likely around that. I probably... there's times that early part of my career I would try things and then see how it worked. And nowadays I do things just to ease the whole process so shotcrete day is not so crazy and insane. So going on for a little longer video here, a little deep dive. This is looking at the project from the back side as it relates to the house. Looks like they have a yard here where they were just really going to do the whole thing, landscaping, making everything awesome. And so we're just seeing this prep work here for our water feature. We have shotcreted it, and you can see that did turn into a boulder over there. And it looks like I just shot that in over there, and because I never saw any pegboard. But let's move this up and look in. You try to put in some rough bouldery cracks in the shotcrete. This all was done in one day. That shotcrete day almost kills me, and I'm almost too old to keep doing shotcrete days. It's just so brutal. So I have one pipe feed here. I don't know if I made it to try and feed both the slide and the waterfall, and that's one big water basin. It seems like I would have separated those two with a divider. Every job I like to do something different. These are the early part of my career. I was not as confident, and also on shotcrete day it's pretty brutal to try and keep up with the guys just blowing the mud out. But still, we have angles and stuff, and corners, which we want to get. I think that's a stronger design than lumpy, bumpy kind of designs and stuff. You can see this is sort of off the edge of the bond or the coping, and so that is that. We did shoot all that. It looks like just by hand, just did it with the shotcrete and carved it down. If you do a little and let it cook and let it get firm and hard, you can you don't need as much stuff to support all that. If you go fast and you try to fill it up, all that will go slide right off into the pool and be a big mess, and your back wants to scream at you because you're trying to shovel and you got to take care of all this mud before it turns into a rock hard big pile of yuck or a rock that looks pretty cool. So in the stream, we've got some bouldery rocks that kind of bend the water around as it travels to the edge of the weir and dumps in. So that's pretty cool, and it looks nice. It's got a nice little cracks here to start, good angulation. It looks like varied shapes. Now we shifted around a little bit, but we have a bench underneath so folks can sit in there, usually 18 inches from the butt to the depth of the water there about. Kept some room for the light, though that's pretty darn close there. And so you can kind of see how we're finishing this thing out. We got the satellite over here in that corner, and keeping the ball rolling, moving on down. So there's that satellite hanging out there. And again, zooming in a little bit to see how things look closer. We see some nice cracks. This is all raw, rough cracks. I don't know how much patching I did. A lot of jobs now I'll take and I'll patch them up with concrete, and I'll make the corners sharper with a mortar mix to get the shapes dialed in, increase overlaps and stuff, onion peel, rock cracks, that kind of stuff to give it more of a natural look. Not unusual. And here's a little lumpy, bumpy on the stairs, but you kind of get the idea. It can get you to the slide trough start. It looks like we do have separate ponds. There's a starting pond here, and this area is separate, so that corner pipe coming out of the wall has a downward elbow, no doubt, to feed the slide start pond. And then over here we have a definite border and breakup. So this starting pond is right down behind here. So you kind of monkey on up here. It looks like probably would be doing some patching. A little piece of rebar over there, all hand patchwork. After shotcrete day to make things nice. Might accentuate this crack here, build this step up a little higher possibly to make access to the slide a little easier. And so there you have the back area of it. Now we have finished. So we're looking at the finished project. We bumped forward. I didn't show a texture code. I didn't take pictures of that, I guess, or they're scattered somewhere else in my 20, 30,000 thousands of pictures, not dollars, but pictures. So, so we see the front of it here. We got the bleeds that I like to call them, or antiquing effect. Get the rock wet and mist it, and it comes down the cracks. The usual gray granite kind of a look, salt and pepper on this one, which is kind of cool. Satellite hangs over so you can sort of sit on it, or it's a jumping rock. Everywhere is a jumping rock to kids, and kids of all ages. So it's nice to have sort of semi-flat and stable places for folks to climb around and stuff. So we're looking at it here, and you can kind of zoom in a little bit. The tile is going to be jackhammered off and redone, I don't think, because this is the old blue tile, so this is finished before the guys jackhammer stuff off, it looks like. And we have, this is kind of cool. We can zoom in a little bit and take a look at these. Kind of nice texture. I like it. Again, this is the earlier part of my career. I try to add a little more color sometimes, but nature has very strong dynamic color. I like to stay a little bit less strong and contrasty, mostly just to try to match the natural boulders here in San Diego County. Interesting cracks right here that are kind of cool. Nice big flat spots, some bleeds over here, got some good fractures. That looks kind of nice. Trying to get the balance of the rock cracks where they need to be. You kind of see a little bit of that bleeding antiquing effect down here by the stairs, stair rocks, if you will. Conduit for lights. I like to put into the features. And again, this is back in the day, so it's interesting to see how things have evolved and all. And we're finishing up this project here. So I think that is the end of this little project review. Mr. Dave here showing you the ropes, how we do stuff. This one has all that concrete stacked inside, using the deck sort of also to fill in with the rubble to be able to make rocks getting taken care of, getting rid of the rubble also, and not having to do burlap on those things as my little pointer runs amok here. So anyway, thanks for checking these out. I'd love to have your support if you can. Become a member, Rockin' On member at podia.com, davehenderson.podia.com. That's just $10 a month. That helps keep me going to put together and take the time to put these things together. Would love your support there. Become a Rockin' On member. That would be awesome. I really appreciate it. Also, sharing videos and stuff about this is fun and keeps me inspired. And I've got other courses and stuff you can check out, and lots of free things too at my Podia site, davehenderson.podia.com. So anyways, love all you guys out there following my stuff. Love your feedback, your prayers when I've been sick in the past. As some of you know, if you follow me and see all the amazing, not so fun journeys I've been through. But anyway, I appreciate your prayers and your thoughts. And your questions are always wonderful. And I love stuff that's creative. Anything that's adding beauty to the world is pretty amazing. And to be able to take a blank slate of space and fill it in with things that look like they've been there for thousands of years is a pretty darn cool thing, I would say. Grab one of my programs. I've also got a new, in the last year or so, a course on how to make a living doing what you love. And it's a very comprehensive course. I spent months and months working on it. Tells you exactly how I was able to do both multi-million-dollar grossing businesses in sand sculpture, and then with no experience in fake rock at all, ended up being a faux rock contractor and succeeding in that business as well, with also millions of dollars in gross sales over the many years I've been doing this stuff. So it's been a blast. Love doing what I love to do for a living, as opposed to just being a clock puncher. Find a way to have fun every day anyway, no matter where you're at and and hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, send them to me and let me know what's happening with you. In the meantime, learn, grow, become. Be thankful, be grateful. It's a key to happiness. And get Jesus in your heart. He's coming back soon, and you want to be ready. He'll clean you up and dust off your dirty shoes so you can come in and have some dinner. Remember when you're a kid, you can't come into the table without taking your dirty shoes off. Well, we have flaws and imperfections in us, and Jesus will clean those things up and let you come in and dine with the creator of all things, as it were. So I hope you're good with that and can grab him, Jesus, get him in your heart, and he'll clean you up, and he's coming back soon to take you home. And it helps you manage these crazy days, these last days, as the Bible says. So God bless you guys. Hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to your thoughts and feedback when you are able. Have a good one, no matter what. See you later. Bye.